Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Deits Sports Talk, another edition. I'm your host, Robert Dieters. And, I use Deits because it's, a nickname of mine, and I like to use it. Today we're going to talk about Bay Area sports. First, we're going to start off with the A's and Giants. They've been working hard this season as the A's have just amazed everybody. Another good season. And, they are doing well right now, especially in their AL West, which they are first right now over Texas. They are 41-27 this year, 2 games, and they are 2 games ahead of Texas. When the Giants are down 2.5 games to Arizona, can they bounce back? Well, we have our analyst here, Stephen Hughes. You may know him from Steven's All Out Baseball show, and let's get him on right now. Steven, how's it going, man?
Yeah, it's great. Great to be on your show once again. And, I've been seeing some great stuff from the two Bay Area baseball teams lately. Great start to the year for both teams.
Me too. And, let's talk SF Giants. Our favorite team, huh?
Definitely. Let's go at it.
The pitching has really struggled, Steven. George Contos getting suspended. Ryan Vogelsong goes on the DL. Tim Lincecum kind of struggles. Have been talks about bullpen. Matt Cain really proved himself today. Zito going back in his old ways. And, what's the biggest deal with this Giants starting rotation especially? I mean, we've been struggling so much.
I think that the run of, really good pitching performances out of Cain, Vogelsong for the first part of the year before he got on the DL. Zito a little bit. I think he's starting to catch up to them. Look at 2009, 2010, 2011 last season. Pitching was absolutely stellar. And then there has to come a time where, there's going to be one year where they're going to be struggling a little bit. And in the beginning of the year right now, they're struggling. They're kind of like the Phillies. You see, Roy Halladay, Cole Hamilton, when they got to the Phillies, they're just a dynamic duo. The greatest trio possibly pitch at their time. Then they're starting to struggle. I think this is what the Giants are in. There's a little bit of a cold spell. Kane really bounced back from a nice start today. Lincecum has been struggling ever since '09. It's been very disappointing to see that. Vogelsong's on the DL. But Chad Budon, who the Giants picked up in the offseason, great job. Really going out there, filling a tough role and doing a good job. Getting a couple of wins already this year as a starter. And, but the bullpen could be better. But, obviously the Giants' pitching could be better. I think that, maybe after the All-Star break, everything can really get into form.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And, looking at these stats the last 30 days, Matt Cain is 2-1 with a 5.17 ERA in his last 5 games. The last 5 games for Lincecum is 1-4 with a 5.79 ERA. Bumgarner 1-3, 6.14. And Zito in his last 6 starts have been 1-4 with a 7.15 ERA. Those numbers they look ugly. Stevie, can you explain why?
Well, just going back to the basics, just you need to pitch the right pitch during during a certain count, pitch placement. I've seen a lot of starters like Bumgarner, Cain, Zito, leaving a lot of pitches up and having a lot of hits off of that. That's the hitter's favorite place right there, a high pitch or a high breaking ball that's just hanging there on a platter just get crushed. And that's what the Giants are not doing. They're poor pitch placement to start the year. It's not really the bullpen, in my opinion, but the bullpen's doing fine. It's just they're not really getting a lot of help from the starting pitching, and the offense could bounce back too. But the starting pitching is a real concern. When Vogelsong comes back, the chemistry is going to get a lot better.
I can't agree with you more. Now let's go to, the DL where mostly all the hitters are gone. I mean, you have 2 guys in the starting lineup that aren't in there, Pagan and Sandoval, who are on the DL. And now you got Scutero, who's hurt, but, he's trying to... I saw him play catch today with his splinter on his pinky, I believe, and, getting hit by the pitch was not very fun. This team, I think they got a lot better at hitting. If the pitching was a lot better, this team could probably win more ball games. And, looking at the stats for the Giants, Marco Scutero has been one of the best players, He's been batting at 374 in the last 30 games. Hunter Pence has been doing well too. I mean, this guy has really shown what he could do. And you saw today getting a home run, 3-run shot. And, Steven, what do you think about Hunter Pence? This guy has really proved himself as a Giant ever since we acquired him. What do you think of him?
When we got him last season during the trade deadline, he was just swinging at everything. He was a free swinger. It was terrible. He was striking out a lot. He was getting a lot of good contact pitches. That's why he was playing like the 210s area when he was with the Giants. This year, during the offseason, actually, he was just working on swinging at better pitches, and I think that's really worked out. It's paid off, and he's hitting better. Guy averages up. It's better than what it was the second half of the Giants last season. He's hitting more home runs, like you said today. He had a 3-run shot. And he's hitting more home runs. The better pitches you hit, the better possibility of getting hits, and that's pretty much the name of the game. And Hunter Pence, from being the young Pablo Sandoval, the free swinger, swinging up low, just finding his own strike zone, and just putting good contact on every single pitch he has a good swing on. So it's Pence who really has improved from last season. Brandon Crawford, in my opinion, has done terrific offensively. He's a doubles machine. It seems like he has like a 270, 280 batting average, but he hits so many doubles. It's unbelievable. It's kind of like an underrated, stat for his position and his batting. But I feel like Crawford and Pence are the two guys that really, amped it up for the Giants.
And also you have to go with Torres. I mean, this guy coming off the bench, if the gone hurt, he hasn't done that bad at all, in my opinion. He stepped up in some of the games. He came in when Gregor Blanco was tired. He came in when Pagan was tired or Pence was tired. I mean, this guy has done well, ever since coming back as a Giant. And I think this was a smart acquisition because, in this type of situation, someone's going to get hurt. And, this is the perfect time. I mean, do you think Torres has lived up to, his expectation as a Giant?
I think he's at what he's supposed to do. Like, if he was doing more than he's doing, then he'd be getting more praise. But we need him to get a little better. He's obviously not Pagan. Pagan is a way better hitter, in my opinion. They're equal in speed-wise. I'm not saying that, we need Torres as a leadoff batter. Torres is a leadoff batter. He has caliber for a leadoff batter, but he's not a starter. But since he's replacing Pagan, he's a good substitute, honestly. Obviously, not doing so well in 2011 cost him, being in the Giants in 2012 and the trade that involved, who else than Angel Pagan? They picked him up, we saw him as a bench player, and he hasn't done that bad, honestly, but, I can see him doing better. But, we'll see in the next, 4 weeks until the All-Star break what he really shows until Pagan comes off. Yeah.
And, another guy that I think that Pablo Sandoval has really struggled. I mean, ever since, since before he went on the DL, he's just really struggled this season. And, he's still that type of free swinger. And I've seen that, the whole time he's been as a Giant. Like, he has those slumps. And then he'll have, like, a good, he'll have some good times. Because, I mean, right now he was at a 231 batting average. And, what can you say? Do you think, he needs to have more plate discipline?
Yeah, I think that, it seems like Pablo Sandoval, he is a struggling first half, and then the second half is just electric, it seems like. But hopefully that's the case, but I'm not trying to be, too realistic now. Let's say with the present now. Yeah, he's kind of going back to what he used to do, like in 2010, 2011. He's a free swinger. Not being really played, not having a lot of patience on the plate really will kill you. So your batting average kill, the many extra base hits, home runs that could be, impacting the game in a winning way or a losing way for the Giants offensively. So obviously he needs to, get that, confidence, get back on the plate and, find a pitch that is good and it's not in the dirt and swinging at it, it's not really going to help. But, I'm going to I want to say that he needs more play discipline, and I agree with you there, Robert. And I think Pence was like that, like I stated earlier. Pence was like that in last season. So hopefully Sandoval changes at the All-Star break. Hopefully, so when he comes off the DL, that's the case. We can't really see anything out of him. This is on the DL, but once he comes back, hopefully expect big things out of him. But maybe it's the high standards that people think of him as the reason why he's swinging so much and trying to do too much, and that could be a mentality issue. But that mentality issue needs to be resolved quickly because Giants need the offense. You got two better teams this year. Arizona and Colorado bumped up really big in the offseason. Better pitching in Colorado and better hitting in Arizona even without Justin Upton. So the Giants need to be on their caliber offensively, pitching-wise, and all over, overall, to really, be contender this year for the NL West South. Because it's not going to be as easy as it was last year. It's going to be more of a challenge, especially with Arizona, who is a playoff contending team in the mix for a spot in playoffs.
And the Giants have really struggled this year. Now they're 13-20. They're 13-20 on the road so far this season with this win tonight. And do you think maybe do you think they could? I know every team struggles on the road and it's tough, and your best record is going to be at home for pretty much every team unless you're pretty bad. But do you think the Giants just need to, do you think they're just not in their comfort zone and, they're like in Pittsburgh, for example, because then they're going to be in Atlanta next. Do you think that's going to be a bigger struggle?
Well, obviously you stated the 13-20 record on the road. A playoff team has to have at least a 500 winning percentage on the road. It's impossible to have a below 500 road record, and, try to help yourself with wins at home to get yourself to the playoffs. That's not going to give you a lot of success going to the postseason. But the Giants it's highly recommended that they really improve on the road because that'll help them, their confidence-wise. If you're the last seed, if you're like number 4 seed, you're playing first game with the Braves on the road in the playoff game, you'd probably like to win a road game at least once to, keep your hopes up. And that's the mentality that I'll be thinking about, because doing better on the road makes you feel a lot better about what's going on in the next games. But I think the Giants pitching love AT&T Park because it's just a pitcher's park with the wind and somewhat deep fences going out, especially in left field, and then the wind just pushing the ball down right field. So the Giants feel too comfortable in there, and then when they get on the road, pitchers feel like, they can put whatever they want, and then they get smashed for hits and possibly home runs. So, anything can be the case on the road. Anything can be different from their own home, which you play 81 games in the entire year. So, maybe this mentality issue, but they should translate what they do at home in a way to what they do on the road.
All right, well, let's go to the other side of the bay, the Oakland A's, a team that just, first place in the AL West. And, Steven, their success has been amazing. I mean, what do you think of their offense? I mean, Josh Donaldson has probably been the best guy in the offense, no doubt. I mean, these are stats, so last 30 games, he's had 9 homers and 42 RBIs. What do you guys say about that?
Josh Johnson, I was reading an article in, I think it was the San Francisco Chronicle, how much better he has gone. Chili Davis, the A's hitting coach, has really highly praised Josh Donaldson with his improvement during the offseason, providing like 240 in the last season to batting like 328. It's an unbelievable improvement in anyone's viewpoint, honestly. He's been a key offensive, standout for the A's, along with Coco Chris and Josh Reddick. Josh Reddick is kind of slumping, but, I think he will get back on the hot streak and beginning of the second half of the year. But Josh Johnson, the man right now for the A's. He's really done well. Also, Jed Lowry, key offensive addition from last offseason.
And Brandon Moss with the big bat. I mean, this guy can hit homers. And, I just like this team has really amazed me. As a Giants fan, I don't hate the A's because the A's, they're better than us. Better than the Giants. I'll tell you that. Because, they beat us, 3 out of 4. We only won one of those games, and it was a close one. This team just really likes to show how good they are. So, Steven, what do you have to, say about their acquisitions over the offseason? They made a lot of great acquisitions. What do you think was the best one?
Probably getting Jed Lowry. I think that they needed a shortstop. They had Steven Drew, and that really didn't work out. His offense struggled. It was more of a defensive thing. They needed Steven Drew. They didn't really need the offense, but since they got him out, and then they got Jed Lowry. I think off the trade that sent Chris Carter to the Astros, and wow, Jed Lowry's given a lot out of us, really helping us out. And in an offensive standpoint, I think he's a little bit underrated, but that's maybe because he has a somewhat low bias, the 270s, 260s. So hopefully he bounces back above the average at 280, 285 going into the second half of the year. But I feel like Jed Lowry has a lot more to offer for the A's heading into postseason time, where the A's could do a lot of damage. Honestly, they can get some revenge on the Tigers from last year and make it big, honestly, to the ALCS, even without, Brandon McCarthy, who cracked his head open, unfortunately, and then went to Arizona. So, all these giving away and getting a little back, got a little for the A's, really helping them out.
And, let's go to the pitching side. The best pitcher on this starting rotation, Bartolo Colon. He is 5-0 with a 1.29 ERA in his last 6 games that he has started, 42 innings, and only he's given up 6 earned. Steven, this guy is on fire. He's the old guy of the team. And, he brings a lot of leadership to this table. How the A's, just get such a good pitching staff? This team's still good. AJ Griffin's struggling a little bit. Besides that, everyone else is doing pretty good. Parker, Straley, and Malone have done pretty well.
Bartolo Colon doing a great job, but unfortunately he's under scandal with Travis Boucher and the clinic in Florida, where actually and Flampon are supposedly getting their PEDs over in California by some guy who's playing the Boucher place, but that's not a big deal in my opinion right now, because Bartolo Colon's performances are the real issue, and it's not really an issue. It's astonishment that he's 5-0. He's really doing a lot of good work out of that bowl. He's had being the ace of the ace are really needed since, the good old days with Vito, Hudson, Mark Boulder. They really haven't had a pitcher since then that really did the job. And I think Bartolo Colon is really doing that job and leading a young club into a possible playoff berth.
All right, Steven. Well, I want to say thank you for being on my show and giving out some really good info. I'm glad that you're on my show. And any last words?
This weekend I'll be doing Steven's All Baseball Show. Tune into the Facebook page. I'll post the day and time where I'll be doing it. You guys can vote with that. And then sometime soon, when Robert, you do your next show, I'll be definitely available to be on once again.
And remember, 2 shows a week, man.
I got you.
So, alright, talk to you later, Steven.
Alright, thanks for having me on.
No problem. Alright, well, we're going to take a commercial break. When we are back, we're going to have our famous Cameron Sadeghi, who had a show earlier today, and I'll be glad to introduce him. We'll be back right after this Commercial break. Well, welcome back to Deits Sports Talk. We are back. We just had Steven Hughes on the line and had a good chat about the Giants and the Oakland A's. Now let's go to the hardwood. We have Golden State Warriors. Last game they had was against San Antonio and they lost. But Mark Jackson really proved how he could bring this team to the playoffs. And let's bring in Cameron Sadeghi. How you doing, Cameron?
Really good tonight. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. And, you had a good show earlier. And, let's make you shine again. So, with the Warriors this season, very impressive year, I would say, despite with all the injuries they had, with Bogut being out pretty much the whole season, David Lee being out for the playoffs. He was hurt, but he played a little bit. What would you say about this team? How would you describe in words how they did this year?
I thought they went to their maximum potential. I did not even see. Look, I thought with the Denver series, it was a coin toss. But with San Antonio, they pushed San Antonio to the limit. San Antonio had to go above and beyond and play perfect games in order to beat Golden State. That was one of the first times I've really, truly seen San Antonio struggle before. Besides this Miami series, they swept Memphis, they swept the Lakers, but San Antonio just had so much trouble with the combination of the big men and the guard play of Golden State and the really solid bench of Golden State. They couldn't contain Jared Jack coming off the bench with those mid-range jump shots. So I've got to say, the Warriors season that no one will ever forget.
Well, the next question is now, can they sign Jared Jack back, Cameron, or is it our team's going to be interested in buying him?
I think that, with this Jared Jack issue, I think that, it depends what the offers are around the league. If he's getting asked by Miami, Oklahoma City, New York, then he might change directions. But if he's been asked by other teams, even to be a starter in this league, let's say other small market teams or teams that haven't made the playoffs recently or don't have the ability to possibly get to a championship, then I think Jack will stay. I'm pretty sure for the most part Jack will stay, but it's going to have to take, a pretty big offer from those top tier teams to get Jack.
And I agree with you. Teams are going to be interested. This guy comes off the bench and does his thing. He could be a starter if he goes with someone else. But, yeah, I think most likely he can go back to the Warriors. Especially with a successful season, no doubt. I think he wants to go back. And, if this... So, let's just say this team was fully healthy for the whole season. Let's say Bogut was never hurt. David Lee was fine in the playoffs, and let's just say everyone was healthy. Well, how would this team do in the playoffs?
Western Conference Final contender. I think next year I look at them as a Western Conference Final contender because they have all the pieces that you need. It's just experience that they're missing a little bit, and I feel like, defensively at times they don't rotate well all the time, but they are definitely a Western Conference Final contender in my mind.
The future looks bright for them this year. And do you think they would make any free agent transactions at all? You think maybe get another big man or maybe just another off the bench type of player?
I think they should go for Howard. Houston wants Dwight Howard to come. It's like 50-50. Dwight Howard may go to Houston. But, look, if I'm Dwight Howard and I see Golden State, I'd rather go to Golden State than Houston because Golden State has more pieces. And if you plug in Dwight Howard in Golden State, that is a championship team. They could go right to the NBA Finals because Howard is one of the best rim protectors. He's one of the best defenders. And also on offense, he gives you all those putbacks, all those great plays. You don't have to run the offense through Howard. He can just find offense himself. That's what's so great about Howard. I think if they were to go get Howard, and if that even did happen, they would be a finals contender, and who knows, they might even win an NBA championship because they have so many great pieces there.
You know, especially if it was the Heat right now, I think this would be one of the best games in my opinion. But, you know, I think next year, you want to keep Bogut healthy pretty much. You want to, because I know Lee now, unfortunately, had that fortunate incident. So, but, let's see what next year brings us. And, I'm really interested for the Warriors for playing again. And, Cameron, I know you're Celtics. They fought back hard in that Knicks game. Do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, they have the heart of a champion, but, they just look so tired out, and they didn't have as many pieces as the Knicks do. They just had a lot of trouble containing Carmelo because you put Brandon Bass and Jeff Green. That's not enough. You need like a world-class type of defender, top 5 defender, guarding Carmelo just to contain him. And, with the future of the Celtics, I mean, Doc Rivers may leave. That's a huge possibility if they're going into the rebuilding process. The Celtics, in my mind, need to either go get a huge free agent like a Josh Smith, or maybe even try for Howard, even though I don't think that would be a big possibility at all. But if they could get Josh Smith, maybe they don't have to go through that rebuilding process. But if they don't make any free agent acquisitions, and they're going to go through that rebuilding process, it's going to last for about 4 years, 3 to 5 years until they get back to the top of the mountain. It takes a long time in that rebuilding process. And I hope that Rajon Rondo, stays there. I mean, that's very hard for a superstar to stay in a rebuilding process, but I think that may happen in Boston very, very soon.
All right, well, thanks, Cameron, for being on my show, and, I always respect what teams you root for, so, any last words to say before you go?
No, but I did call out Nick Rice at the end of my show, so if Nick Rice is listening, or if you guys get him on, just tell him about it, because I still think David Akers is the greatest kicker in the world. He's going to go to the Pro Bowl with the Detroit Lions. That's all I have to say. Bye, Robert.
Bye. Hey, heard it for Cameron today. Well, we'll take a small break, and, Nick Rice is actually a possibility right now. So, I'll be back right after this commercial break. Hello, and welcome to Deits Sports Talk. We are back, and, we're going to do some 49ers football, and, I don't feel like talking about the Raiders because they're not very good at all, and they're only 4-12. So, let's talk about Niners football instead, and I think I have Nick Rice on for a short time at least, so let's get him on immediately. Hey, Nick, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you doing today?
Doing good. I know you just called me, and, I just want to get you on for maybe a minute or so.
Wait, sorry, say that again?
I want to get you on for a quick minute. You're on air right now.
Oh, dude. Right at the moment?
Yes, you are.
Oh, snap. Well, hello. This is crazy, dude. I'm not even home right now.
All right, well, you're going to be on for at least a minute. So, let's talk about Colin Kaepernick. How do you think he's improved? And, Jim Harbaugh saying, Kaepernick improves in everything. What is that supposed to mean, Nick?
Well, honestly, I think that's going to be a huge improvement, and it's going to help you guys out, big time. Wait, wow. You guys got Victor Cruz. That's insane. So already a team that's super talented at that piece. You guys are gonna be tough to stop.
Well, I thought it went pretty well for.
And how about Justin Smith? With the big injury, 4-time Pro Bowler with the triceps, and he doesn't need surgery. He said he's gonna battle it out. Do you think this is? I mean, Justin Smith said he's good to go though. So do you think this is an injury you should take care of now or later on?
Well, the funny thing is sometimes when you deal with something like that, it almost the train is going to keep on moving without you. So the team will obviously, no matter what, be good enough for you. So honestly, I think you need to take care of it now, not force it to be an issue later on in the year. So this has to be something he needs to take care of before, because he's already been through enough training camp and everything. So he's set. He just needs to take care of that injury right now before it becomes a bigger issue than it really needs to be. He's getting a little old, so it's an injury that you can't just put off to the side.
All right, and last question before we go, Nick. 49ers just recently signed Brandon Carswell to a 2-year contract. What do you think of this signing? Do you think this is a good signing they took him away from Oakland, so what do you think of this signing?
Now he's on what team?
He's going to be on the Niners now. They actually officially signed him.
He's going to be on the Niners, man, of course. I think this team is already super stacked. I see the signing. I see what it means to Harbaugh, but honestly, like this is going to be a stacked team, and his time on the field will be very limited. Outside of maybe receiver, this team has almost no holes. At every position they have stars all over. So this team it's going to be tough for him to find the field, but hopefully he figures out something. Just whatever works best for the Niners, that's what Harbaugh will do. So this obviously is a plus for this team. He sees it as just nothing but a benefit to the Niners.
All right, well, thanks, Nick, for all the time. I know you're not even home, so any last words before you go?
Oh, man, we'll make sure to catch Robert later on in the year for his other shows. Make sure that you tune in, and we'll also keep you updated throughout the summer on all the football shows leading up to the preseason and regular season.
And by the way, Cameron did called you out on his show earlier today. Yes, about David Akers.
Play that. You should definitely play that bite on your show or something later on, and you'll give him more information on this. But it's been pretty fun throughout the Nashville sports radio. It's been amazing. Absolutely, just a fun ride throughout the year.
All right, thanks, Nick, so much for being on the show. I will talk to you later.
All right, man. All right, thank you.
All right, well, that was Nick Rice, everybody, and, just call him on the spot, and, he did pick up. We're going to have a quick minute on the Sharks, not a long time, because I actually have to go soon. But we'll be back right after this commercial break. Hello, welcome back to Deits Sports Talk, as we'll get our last caller on. He's hopefully on the line right now. Carl, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, hey Carl, how's it going? You're gonna be on for a quick minute. I just want to say, just a quick minute on the Sharks. That Game 7 against the Kings. Do you think they fought harder this season than last season?
No, I don't. Mainly because I think they had a much better season this year. They only were up one spot in the seeding this year, going up to a 6 from 7 last year. But they did make it to the second round, and that was actually a very good series against the Kings. Very evenly matched teams. So, not a better season this year than last year, but still a hard way to go down in the Game 7.
I look at this team, and this team has tried and tried again, trying to make it to the Stanley Cup, and for some reason we still can't make it. Do you know why that is?
First of all, we had some very tough seasons before this in the conference finals, but now it seems like the window on certain players, such as Patrick Marleau and Joe Thornton, are getting kind of older, and it looks like it might be time for the Sharks to bring some news to this team as they're facility is signing from what used to be perennial division champion.
All right, thanks, Carl, so much for being on the show, and he had to go, so I got the quick minute in. And I'd like to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being on my show. Listening, and we're gonna make some changes during national sports. We're just gonna have fun, and as the president, I gotta help out. I'm in charge of the money. I'm in charge of what we do, and we're gonna have a fun time. Well, thanks for all the time, guys, and it was great having you. Good night.